Hi, BiFFs.
Hey, Beth.
Dear Abby.
Dear Kiki.
Dear Captain.
Red flag.
Cheers to you.
Desperate housewife.
Pinot Grigio.
Doesn't want to marry
Loser
you.
power.
Love you like I
Pour
love
more
you.
wine.
Don't talk to yourself.
Cheers, Biff. Cheers.
Ill-advised.
Ill-advised. This is Ill-advised.
Hi, BiFFs.
Hello.
Hello and welcome.
Welcome to Ill-advised.
The podcast where two best friends tell you what to do when someone else already has.
Like your therapist.
Or our guest, retired psychotherapist, Rachel Sievers from
so
Consent to
excited.
Treat.
Hello.
Hi, Rachel.
Hey, how are you guys?
Welcome.
Gorgeous Ducky, how are you?
You. I'm so good. I'm so happy to be here. So
we are
happy.
so excited to have you.
Like thrilled, like ridiculously thrilled.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you so much for being with us.
Mhm.
So I've I've never talked about consent to treat on this podcast before ever. So
Yeah. Not in the last 2 episodes.
no,
probably.
maybe. And so give us a little bit of a spiel of consent to treat to our listeners. If they haven't already, because I'm obsessed, they should.
I think you manifested me just from talking about me.
Listen,
I really think so.
it was
because-
a dream. I remember sitting at a bar at dinner going like, Rachel just sent me a message and I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
We were meant to come together. So Consent to Treat is my podcast. It started, about a year and a half, 2 years ago, maybe 2 years ago now. I record real counseling sessions with my clients. And then after the sessions, then I break it down for you. I kind of give you what was interesting about it, what was significant, what did you just hear? And I give mental health tips. And I try to do it in a fun but clinical, smart format.
Such a brilliant podcast.
You have my full attention.
It's just so brilliant.
I could just listen to you talk forever.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
I do
That's
love your
awesome.
reels. Also, your reels on
Oh,
Facebook.
they're insane.
They're so
great.
good.
I think you have another
Thanks.
microphone there. Is that a cattail?
This is a cat that will not leave me alone.
I know. I listen to your podcast while I'm lifting, which is so unconventional. It makes no sense because
Really?
yeah, it's really
What does
weird.
it do for you? I wonder.
It distracts me.
Mm.
Oh, yeah?
It distracts me, and I'm paying attention to something that I want to pay attention to rather than counting repetitions.
So you must actually find it like genuinely interesting.
I actually like I remember coming across your reels, and that's how I got to listening to your podcast. And I went to her immediately.
Mhm.
I was like, you need to listen to this. And
Yeah.
so I
That's
binged
great.
your first season and a half. I think you were halfway through the second season, if not the intercession between 2 and 3.
I think so. Yeah, that sounds right.
When I started, when I just binged right through, I drive a lot. I'm at the gym a lot. I'm literally cooking all the time. And so it's my podcast time. And, I caught up on My Favorite Murder. So why not go on the other side of the spectrum?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Well, you guys are also mentioning another huge part of what I do, and that's my online like reels, creating videos that actually show what personality disorders look like in real life, what poor communication looks like in real life. I like to act it out for people because I think talking about it is one thing, reading about it is one thing, but seeing it in real
Seeing it.
time
Yeah.
is a completely different level of understanding.
Yeah.
And I think people really, they appreciate that.
Yeah.
Because people are hungry to understand,
Yeah.
like what the hell is going on with my spouse or my mom or my kid or whatever.
Absolutely.
Or me.
And or me.
Or
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. Well, and so many people in response to my reels are like, I think that's me. I think I do that.
Yeah.
Am I a narcissist?
Well, I was just going
do I
to
have
go
this-
there. Of like,
Mhm.
how do you respond to those? Because you've said it on your show, you might have a trait here and there, but that doesn't make you a narcissist. How do you respond to those people who are like, I have 9 out of 10? Like, am I close enough to that? Like,
well, on the one hand, I'll say if you're wondering about it, the chances are you actually aren't diagnosable
Mhm.
with a personality disorder, because people with personality disorders they lack self-awareness.
oh, okay.
If there is a chance that you have this disorder or that you have these traits, connect yourself to someone who can help you grow. Like there's nothing There's nothing wrong with it. No judgment. Like,
Mhm.
you want to be your best. So go find someone that's going to guide you there.
Amen.
Fuck it. I mean, we're all fucked up somehow. Like we all
Cheers to
need
that.
help.
Cheers
Like,
to that.
it's
Yes.
okay. It's
I know.
okay.
It's
Oh,
like
yes.
right before we record, it's like the Who's the Fucked Up More Olympics.
Yeah.
We just catch up. We just catch up. It's been 2 days. What happened in
Yeah.
your world?
Yeah.
And so in true ill-advised fashion, we have a wine this week. Unfortunately, we couldn't pair it up. So Rachel,
Yes.
talk to us about what you're drinking this week.
I am drinking a $6 bottle of Prosecco from
We
Grocery
love it.
Outlet Bargain Market. So
Yes.
over here in California, I don't know where else Grocery Outlet Bargain Market is at. It's called Pink, which
Wonderful.
I already love it. Pink Prosecco, d.o.c sparkling wine. Don't know what that means, but that's what's here.
I think
And
it's Italian.
It's a rosé. D.o.c.
Yeah, I think it's a
I think
can't
you're
even pronounce it.
right. No,
we're-
'cause on the
we're
back-
catching up.
Denominazione
Controllata, right?
or origine controllata.
See?
Wow.
We're doing it's
You're
70
smart.
episodes under our belt of this.
Oh, okay. Gosh, I just learned something new.
Yeah, that's it. That's the
You're
only way
right.
I know. If it's not French, it's Italian.
Speaking of learning new things,
What are we learning?
we're gonna find out
We are.
with questions.
Well, let's get this kicked off. Cheers.
Cheers. Let's do it.
This is so exciting.
Elodie just cheered over here.
Excellent.
Yay.
Wait, what are you guys drinking?
We are drinking a Prosecco from. We just picked one just to go with it.
Yeah.
Just to go with the
We just
Prosecco,
chose the Prosecco.
so that we stayed on
We
brand.
love a Prosecco anyway.
We love
Mm.
anything.
So, any
that-
excuse.
In summertime, especially. Oh,
Yep.
Yes.
So this week's questions are coming from Ask Amy of the Washington Post.
Yay.
Are you ready, Rachel?
Sure.
The first question that we have
I
this
just
week.
need to reiterate
Please
to our
reiterate.
listeners that the advice you're about to get is legit this time. It isn't just.
Is it legit, Rachel? Is it? You tell us. How
It's like
legit?
drinking. Yeah.
For entertainment purposes only, but we are under the influence and being influenced by someone.
Yes. Me
with
and Beth are not
credentials.
qualified.
Rachel,
I'm
add your own
happy.
disclaimer if you would like. I will make sure it makes the cut.
I mean, from a legal standpoint, yes, please don't take any of the advice that I'm giving today as real actual advice. Please consult your therapist,
Yes.
counselor,
Thank
or
you.
doctor for advice. But just for fun today, I'm going to give what kind of advice would Rachel give?
Yes.
That's what I'm
So
going to give
excited
today.
for it.
It's exactly what we
So
were looking
excited
for. And let's have fun with it. This first question is, the title of the article is Father-in-Law Wants to Issue Premarital Warning. We ready? Dear Amy, do I have an obligation to warn my future son-in-law about my daughter's mental illness? Let me explain. I've been married to her mother for more than 20 years. My wife could be the poster child for narcissistic personality disorder. She has all of the classic symptoms: verbal abuse, constant blaming, hypercritical, shaming, public ridiculing, and physical battering. To say the past 20 years have been a living nightmare would be a huge understatement. Our only daughter, who is due to marry a very decent guy, is a perfect clone of my wife. She demonstrates all, capital letters, ALL, of the abusive behaviors, in case you didn't know how to spell all.
Thank you.
I didn't mean to insult anyone. She demonstrates all of the abusive behaviors exactly like my spouse. I know what kind of a marriage this young man is headed for, and I feel guilty not saying anything. Most people don't realize that this behavior is a form of mental illness, and the person/behavior will never change. Do I owe him a more complete explanation? Worried future father-in-law.
This is such a good question.
Rachel's got a look.
Well, I think it's a little suspicious.
Uh-oh. Go on.
Is this my turn to talk?
You can
is this
talk
where I'm
whatever
supposed to
you
talk?
want. You don't need permission. It's your job to save
Yes,
the day as
we're
the woman.
Group of friends.
Okay. Okay. I already think it's suspicious that this person wrote into a newspaper or a journal,
An advice
right?
columnist.
Yeah.
An advice columnist, and kind of bashed both his wife and his daughter.
Interesting.
So I'm the source itself is a little questionable to me.
I never would have even gone there.
Never.
Never. That was a good backhand.
Good.
Well,
That's how I
but think
felt.
about it. If your child exhibited signs of a mental health disorder, would you go and be like, she has all the signs of her mother? She's dangerous and somebody needs to be warned about her. Like, no, maybe can we talk about getting your daughter counseling? Like, let's care for your daughter. Aren't you the father in this situation? I don't know. I just think that's a little red flaggy right there.
Yeah.
Red flaggy in what sense? I'm following. I'm tracking with you. I'm just curious for you.
So I am by no means saying that this person is mentally unwell. That's
The
not what
writer.
I'm saying. The writer.
Okay.
Yeah. But like narcissists will tell counselors, tell lawyers, tell everybody, my spouse is such a narcissist. And so is my daughter. And everybody needs to be warned about them because they've made my life hell. They're terrible.
Okay.
They will do that.
Okay. That makes sense.
Someone with a more normal personality, and I'm saying that with my little air quotes, right?
Yes.
Someone with a more normal personality would be trying to get their child help. It wouldn't publicly, bash their spouse, might divorce or separate from the abusive partner instead of being with them for 20 years. So there's some sort of instability, I think, going on with the writer. That I'm just saying that's
Holy schmoly.
That's interesting.
I thought this was like,
I would go straight
genuine.
to yeah, I did too.
like, do I tell my potential future son-in-law about what he's about to walk into?
right.
But yeah, I think I would have gone to like, do you really know she has that? Have you talked to her about it to see if she would seek counseling to figure out what her real issues are, if she has any whatsoever? I wouldn't have come like from the direction of like,
Yeah,
you're
what if this
writing
guy's just a super grumpy guy? He's been going through it with his wife for this long, and now his daughter is following suit, and now
Yeah.
he's just like, I'm at my wit's end.
Yeah.
Do I tell this
Let-
guy or not?
And let's just go with that.
Okay, yeah.
Let's
for
just-
the sake of the
we're-
question. Sure.
For the sake of the question, because it's a legitimate question.
Yeah.
But he uses the word owe. Like, do I owe it? Which to me, then you have the clear answer. No, you don't owe
Right.
anything to anybody.
True.
right. So I guess it's like, am I obligated to warn him? Am I
He did say
obligated to let
obligated.
him? Yeah.
No, you're not obligated. You don't owe anybody.
Well, she's
but then
not
he uses
diagnosed.
the word guilty. He feels guilty. So if you're experiencing like guilt around this, then let's allow that to move you. But the idea of being like owing or obligating, I think that's owing or being obligated to. The clear answer is no. Am I making any sense right now?
You're
Yeah, no,
making
absolutely.
perfect. We're in awe. That's what you're
Yes.
reading.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
I'm listening to your
We were-
episodes right now.
Yeah.
And I'm hyper focused. No,
Yeah,
it's,
so if
it's
you're
just
gonna-
so interesting.
yeah. So if you're going to do something, do it because you feel guilt. There's just a guilt thing happening, not because you owe it to anybody.
So does he, what's the word I want? Like, should
The one that's on the tip of your
he,
tongue. Use it.
Like,
Is he? So
if he's
I guess if
aware
I'm
and privy
experiencing
to
something or
this,
I know that my wife
should he?
is
tell.
experiencing this narcissistic trait, personality disorder, whatever, and I see these
Because he did
traits
mention that the
in my
son-in-law,
undiagnosed daughter.
the son-in-law is a good guy.
Yeah, whatever that means, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with
But-
you on that. So he feels like he needs to let him know that he might be walking into someone with narcissistic personality disorder. If she's undiagnosed is what we're hearing, right? Are we all on the same page here? But that the wife has these tendencies. Does he really need to warn his son-in-law, his future son-in-law, about something? Like, if I knew she was diagnosed with something and
I
experienced these
wanna
thing
know-
and knew he didn't know, then it would be something different, right? Like,
I want to know how
you
long
don't
he's
know. I
been
feel
with
like
the
he
daughter.
might. Yeah.
You got to get a good sense after a year, 2 year, 3 years. with somebody, you got to get a good sense that like there might be other things going on here, right?
Well,
this just became that much more loaded.
To say that like the future son-in-law doesn't recognize these traits in his partner.
Well, that, yeah.
It's not-
You haven't, maybe you shouldn't be getting married.
Well, it's like he knows it's his fiance, right? Of course, like he knows that she can be critical, that she can be judgmental, she can be moody. Like he knows these things about her.
Right.
So what more does dad have to offer him?
I never thought of it that way.
That's what I was.
What the hell? That's so straightforward to me, though. And I feel like I'm not, I'm thinking too, like I put a snorkel in and I'm going for a deep dive. Like I'm not, he knows what he's marrying into.
Of course.
Well, that's what that's what I was saying.
Sorry.
He might not be conceptualizing it as, she has a personality disorder. It's a serious, but he knows her personality.
Well, that's where I'm coming at it from. Like, he doesn't know she has a personality disorder. Like, what the F? Like, I can't believe she didn't disclose this. But then I'm like, well, it's not lost on him. Like, I never thought of it that way. Like, maybe he doesn't know how to label it, but he's experiencing what he's experiencing and he's still going to marry her.
Yeah. Uh-huh. All right. That was great.
Here's my advice. Dad, if you are mentally stable, and that's a big if, if you are genuine about this whole thing and you just really are worried about him, it sounds like this. Hey, my daughter's very similar to my wife. If you'd like to, know anything about what it's like to be in a relationship with someone like that, I'd be happy to talk to you. Just let me know.
Well, shit. I love that.
Nothing near where we would have.
And we can say that with
what would you have done
for each other.
Yeah.
We would have gone straight to the question. We would have gone straight to the what the question was and said, of course, I think we would have acknowledged that she wasn't diagnosed, or you know what I mean? Like he's jumping to
I would have said if he's not aware of his fiance's behaviors.
Oh, I see. But you still would have assumed, or you still would have had that kind of like, your response would have had a facet of it or something in it that kind of alluded to like he's experiencing what he's experiencing and he's choosing to marry into this or not.
Right.
Which is
because
still better way of thinking than I would have gone.
My first question was, how long has he been with his fiance, with the daughter?
Right. That's true.
For him to
how does that change anything? Oh, so if it was like 6 months.
Right. If he wasn't fully aware of like she's moody or she's
like he's experienced the spectrum.
If he's like this is fresh and new and he's not aware, then maybe I don't know. That's where I was. That's where my brain was. How long has he been with the daughter, and how aware of certain things is he?
Either way, my mind is totally blown because I love the way that this went. And I really want to see how this stacks up against The Columnist, shall we?
Yes, please.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah. Okay, Amy.
First, let's do you. Hold on a second. I didn't share these with you. Can you confirm I did not share these with you?
No, I had no idea what was happening.
Your married life has been a nightmare. You have been verbally and physically abused. I urge you to find a way to exit this relationship safely. You should not be a martyr to your wife's disorder. My understanding of NPD is that it is everything you describe, and also unfortunately resistant to treatment because the behavior carries along with it a profound arrogance. People who have this push and punish and then gaslight their partner. It is characterized by the toxic combination of rage and a lack of empathy. I suggest you seek professional therapy on your own behalf and make a decision about what to do with your own life. I have this book on my shelf and recommend it for you, called Should I Stay or Should I Go? Surviving a Relationship with a Narcissist by Ramani Durvasula. And I'm going to stick to that pronunciation.
It's probably French.
In terms of warning your daughter's future husband, you could frame it like this. Caroline's mother and I have an extremely challenging marriage. I am seeking professional help to come to terms with her behavior and how it has affected me. Unfortunately, I see some of the same behavior with Caroline. I want the best for you. And all I can say is that I wish someone had talked to me before I took this big step of marriage. Of course, I support you as my future son-in-law, and I'm here for you if you need me. He will likely reject this. When this conversation gets back to your daughter and wife, you will be belittled and blamed. Only undertake this task if you feel prepared and can do so safely.
Okay, so that was pretty close, that section.
That was pretty
similar.
close.
Yeah.
Is there anything in that kind of response to the son-in-law that you disagree with or that you would caution against saying? No, it was pretty good.
Yeah, I think I agreed with all that.
Yeah, that was great.
Or I not really agree, but like, yeah, I think that was like super helpful.
Yeah,
well, that was interesting.
We usually have a good back and forth with the responses too, but I thank you for kind of opening that as a possibility. I never would have come up with maybe the readers experiencing something that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we always have to take into consideration the source. It's so fascinating because I'm telling you, like, I've seen some clients for years and then something's happening in their marriage and they say, you know what, can I bring my spouse in? You know, maybe you could give us some advice or it would help you understand us better. And when their spouse gets there, there's such a different understanding of the situation, of my client, of the dynamic between the two of them. And I think that always taught me, you know, you're just getting this person's take on it. And you're getting it from their personality, from their perspective, from their mood, from whatever dynamic the client and I have. You know, that's shaping the message that I'm getting. So you always have to take into consideration the person sitting in front of you or the person writing in, like, this is just their story. It's their view on things. And
it's really funny because when we do this, we can spiral when it comes to these questions and get into an adjacent topic that gets into another adjacent topic, et cetera, et cetera. But then we're like, we got to circle back. We got to go with the information that we do have.
Right.
But never do we go immediately to like this person's experience, which is very interesting to me.
Not unless it was like super obvious.
Right.
Like, you sound like a bitch or
that
type of thing.
That was great.
That was.
Elodie wants to bring up something.
Hit us.
Please do.
I just think it's really interesting the fact that, you know, he asked, should I tell this person? And part of the response from Rachel was, here's what you tell them. I have information. If you want to hear it, let me know and we'll talk more. So it's not like you're bombarding this other person with your point of view. You're more saying like, hey, here's what I'm noticing. If you want to talk more about it, I'm available to you. Mm-hmm. I just thought that's interesting.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
It is perfect because it's you. I feel like it's more. You'd be more receptive of that.
And then
versus
you as
like,
the person kind of clearing your conscience in a way. Like, I feel like
now
I need to tell you something, but
if they want to.
Right.
Yeah. That is pretty brilliant. You're so just brilliant, Rachel.
Oh, thanks.
Should we go to the next one?
Yes,
please.
This is so fun.
This one is a title this one really stuck out to me. And Rachel, we're going to need you for this one.
Okay.
Like need you. And I'm going to ask a follow-up question afterwards. Okay. This one's called Psychologist Needs to Heal Herself. So it's a little change in dynamic here. A very interesting change. This one's from May 10th, 2014. And it goes, Dear Amy, my sister is a clinical psychologist. Recently, I introduced her to a close friend of mine. My friend hosted a gathering for Easter and invited us both. I could not make it, but my sister did. I received a call from my friend afterward. She was very upset. Apparently, my sister took it upon herself to give unsolicited advice to some of the party goers that she had just met. She jumped in when a child had a meltdown, chastising the parent and reprimanding the grandmother, causing an angry response from the grandmother. Oh, no. My sister then insulted another individual she just met by criticizing this person's method of counseling in her own practice. I was told that many at the party were shocked and insulted by her lack of tact and social graces. My sister makes a habit of telling people how to conduct their lives and aggressively pushes her opinions onto others under the guise of just trying to help. She has alienated many family members over the years, asking personal questions to those she just met. For instance, asking young people about their sexual practices and birth control methods, and then giving advice that is not wanted. She seems to be especially intolerant of small children and openly criticizes the parents in front of everyone. In parentheses, she doesn't have kids.
Oh, I wish she would.
When relationships with loved ones are not going her way, she breaks down and cries like she's being mistreated. She says, quote, "That's just how I am. You need to change how you feel," end quote. What should I say or do to get through to her? She's very intelligent, but never admits any wrongdoing on her part. Upset sister.
That's just how I am. You need to change.
You need to change how you feel. Which one of you would like to tackle this first?
I would like the psychologist and psychotherapist.
Sir,
She's looking back. She's like, where?
Yeah, what do you do when your therapist needs therapy?
oh gosh, there's just so much happening in this. Just to answer her question, you don't do anything. What are you going to do? Like, what are you going to say to her? Hey, I think you need counseling. And then what is she going to say? I'm a psychologist. I already know everything.
Yeah.
You know, like she's like, you don't do anything. You don't say anything. You just take care of yourself. So maybe stop going around your sister and don't invite her to your fucking friends' birthday parties. Like,
Clearly.
and let her go. Like, hello. I mean, you know her. Like, she's going to be an asshole. Like, why even engage anymore?
Wow.
I don't
agree.
think there's any,
Yeah.
there's nothing to do with sister.
Right.
Sister is either going to see the light or she's not. She sounds histrionic to me.
She sounds what?
Histrionic,
Okay.
attention seeking, like
Yeah.
just eyes on me, eyes on me, eyes on me, eyes on me. And then when people are like, you're being super rude, they're just like, what? I'm just being helpful. But I love you.
Right.
What do you mean?
Right.
Wow. So you
But
do
say-
nothing
of-
with sister.
Psychologists? Yeah. What are you going to do? Put her in a cage? Like, what the fuck are you going to do with her? There's nothing to do. You don't do things with other people. You take care of yourself.
Mm.
You take care of yourself. And in doing that, sister might see the light. But if you've already talked to her once about it and she didn't like hear you, then okay, you've tried. Now go take care of yourself.
I am fascinated by the concept that somebody could have a personality disorder, go through the schooling and the whole learning environment of psychology and not be aware
Mm-hmm.
that there may or may not be something going on internally or with themselves.
Right.
How does that happen?
So the number one hallmark of an actual personality disorder is you lack the third eye. You can't see yourself. You lack the
How?
awareness to be able, right? And that's where
Right.
everyone in their life is like, oh, if I just said the right thing, they would
Yeah.
see it. Or if
Yes.
I just explained to them enough, or if I,
Can
if I
say
showed
it
them
the right
video
way,
of
yeah.
themselves or like they'll see it. But literally, I have a family member who's histrionic, and I just put some videos out there on histrionic personality disorder, and she's like liking them, and she's sending them to people, and she's like, "These are so great." And I'm like, "Yeah, the third one, that was you. Like that was literally you. I was doing you." And she has no idea. They don't see it, and I'm not trying to make fun of. It's
Right.
just,
No.
It's
How
to
does that happen? What causes somebody to just not
not be
have
able
any
to
awareness?
Like to
see
be so
themselves.
oblivious, even learning about these types of disorders and learning about what those traits are. How do you?
I feel like it's so
just
common for
alone-
people to be like, "Oh my god, I do that," or "Oh my god,
Right.
I'm like that." So
It's exactly what I was going to say. Just in the conversations that we're having right now, like there's some things that kind of resonated with
what
me that
goes
you
on
said
that they have?
they're not able to.
Yeah. What goes on that they just completely miss that?
Well, I don't think there's a one thing that happens, but if you think about the fact that personality disordered individuals lack the ability to esteem from within, to know thyself, to know their worth, to understand that they're good, they're safe, they're all right, like to know that from within, they have to, for the reason, whatever reasons happen in childhood or genetics or whatever the science, we don't want to get into that discussion, but for whatever reason, they don't have that already in them. It wasn't taught. So they have to like create a reality that makes them valuable.
Interesting.
This is just, I could never end this conversation.
Have you gotten to this part in your schooling yet?
No.
That's
No,
so
I just,
fascinating.
my brain can't grasp like how you can, especially if you're a psychologist yourself, how can you not?
It's so
Have you
interesting.
ever gotten in an argument with someone with a personality disorder? At the end of it, you're like, what the?
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yes.
What did we even?
Every day.
What are we even talking about?
Every day.
Like, it's because moment by moment by moment, they're making up reality like as they go. So their opinions shift, their ideas shift, their ideas about people, the world, like everything for them is just shifting so that it's in their favor always, right?
Yes.
I
So
never
you could
think of that.
when you
That's-
talk to them, it's like, wait, but you just like last week you just said that the sky is indigo, and today you're like fighting me because it's teal. Like, what are we talking about? But they are just making it up as they go, and they do it in so many different ways, like creating their own reality. They do it in a million ways, but I would say that's where that lack of self-awareness comes from, because they're not going through their lives like from the in out. They're creating their lives around them all the time. So there is nothing for them to recognize, to see and hear.
Holy shit.
That makes so much sense. And it's you're opening my eyes to so many other possibilities that I don't know if I can ever continue this podcast again, because I don't know what to say anymore. Like,
oh, no.
No.
I ruined.
No. And I guess that's the point of ill-advised, right? But I think that it's just, I even your interactions with this person that we have in mind leave me going like, what the fuck? Like, how?
Wait a second. So hold on. You guys haven't mentioned anyone, but you both know that you're both thinking about the same person right now?
Yes.
100%.
Yeah, we're psychically connected.
Isn't that cool?
We're even on the same cycle.
Literally.
Okay.
Yes. Specifically, as you were saying, the part about like having an argument or a conversation with somebody, and you're just, after like a minute, you're just like, I'm so lost. Well, like, what does this have to do? Like, that is my
your literal reality
life.
daily.
Like,
your daily reality.
Constant. So
it is so fast.
And he's aware that,
and I'm
because
just
I'm
aware
constantly,
of the what the
exactly, because I'm constantly like, oh, this happened, and then all of a sudden it turned into an argument about this, and he's like, what? And I was like, exactly.
What conversation were you having?
Right.
Or were they?
Yeah, like,
were
how
they
did it get there? Yeah.
Like, yes.
Were they present?
1 + 1 = B. All the time. Like,
and they will make that make sense.
Yes.
To them. And you're a dummy if you don't understand.
Yes. But then I start to feel like a dummy because I don't understand.
No, you start to feel like a
like
dummy because they
25
make you, they go
minutes.
out of their way to try to make you feel like a dummy for not understanding their irrational thought process, which is just a whole other story altogether.
Yes.
But we're not professionals, so let's not diagnose this one.
Oh, I did 4 years ago.
I know you did. So this is it's really interesting altogether. So you're saying in general, do nothing. Just take care of you. Like, your sister is your sister, and what are you going to do?
Yeah, like, why are you still
trying?
Yeah.
Why are you still hanging out with her?
And I agree with that.
Well, what do you...
I think I agree with that.
Because she's your sister?
A wall is a wall.
Are we doing that? Like,
well,
she's my sister, so I have to invite her to parties and stuff?
I know, but like, what if I still love her? Or like, what if we're still, you know what I mean? I've accepted who and what she is. So it doesn't, you know what I mean?
There's lots of people I love that I don't hang out with them all the time. I love my barista. I love my bartender.
Yeah, but they're not your sibling. You know what I mean? If I had a...
Yeah, and I understand people think about this very differently. I don't give anybody a free pass. Like, just because you have like sibling label doesn't mean you get to like...
No, absolutely. And I agree.
I'm still gonna,
I agree. But it's like, for me, it's...
Like, you want better for this person.
It's like, I accept you for who you are. Like, you suck and you're difficult, but like, it is what it is. I still love you. I still... You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't necessarily bother me if we're hanging out or whatever. So then what? I'm not going to cut you out of my life because I love you and
Well,
I
that's
like
the-
to
I
hang
think
out with you.
that's
I
it.
like to, like, I accept you for who you are. So I have no issues if we hang out.
Mhm.
You are who you are. It is what it is.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
then what?
But I think that's what Rachel's getting at is like, then nothing. It is what it is with you. But like this specific group of friends that you're going around with, it's on you whether or not you're going to invite your sister.
Yeah. What's the specific question?
It's like the very last line, I think.
Oh, what should I say to get through to her? Yeah, I mean,
Nothing.
there's nothing to get through to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. That's great. So I do need to ask this though, because we are talking about a non-self-aware psychologist. And when we read the title earlier, we kind of got into this little kind of back and forth, not a back and forth, but something I wanted to bring up. And it's just a psychologist who is, I feel like any psychologist I've ever spoken to or any counselor is in therapy themselves, right?
Mhm.
I don't know if that's a requirement, or maybe it's a coincidence that I just have people who care about themselves in my life,
No, you're lucky. actually.
Oh, great. So if a psychologist is experiencing some really strong personal mental health issues,
Mhm.
is there a point where this psychologist or counselor needs to step away or gauge in themselves where they need to step away? Or I don't know if I'm articulating this correctly. Is there a point where they need to step away, or is it okay for them to feel like they can't counsel at this very time and step away because of their own psychological issues? Or is it moot? Does it matter? Are they able to still counsel in spite of or despite what they're going through? And I only ask this because it's an interesting dynamic to me. I don't think that necessarily precludes you from having to do anything, because it doesn't for me. I've suffered through my own anxiety, depression, all of it my entire life. And I've screamed it from the mountaintops. And there's a billboard if you drive down the freeway local to you that you'll find that says Ray has anxiety and depression. So none of that bothers me. But is there like a playbook or any guidance to psychologists who experience like very strong mental health episodes, etc.? I don't know if
Yeah. Well, the guidelines really are, am I able to hold a safe container for this other person? So if my state is so fragile that by you talking about your situation, I become unstable, then I'm no longer able to practice. I've gone through very stressful times in my life or emotional times in my life, but snapping into that mindful state with my clients is actually really nice. So I've never found, no, I've had to take a few days off and it's like, oh, okay. But, my partner just walked out on me or something. Okay. So now I know I'm not going to be able to practice that day. I will not be able to hold a container for someone else.
Yeah.
I have lots of friends who are clinicians. I've had one give up the practice altogether because it was just too much for them to bear. They would take it all home. They would feel it every day. They're completely burnt out because they feel so much about their clients. I have one really good friend who has bipolar 2 disorder and who goes into very manic, long, intense manic episodes where he has to kind of shut down his practice for a month at a time. He knows never to see more than 15 clients a week. 10 is his juicy spot. Like that's where he likes to keep it. Really, you're just supposed to be on top of your own shit all the time and just be making sure, can I hold the space for this person? Can I hold the space? Can I hold the space? And if you can't, it is your ethical obligation to cancel your clients or connect them with someone else.
Okay.
I don't think I would have pulled, which I'm very surprised about, by the way, but I don't think I would have pulled ethics into it. And I don't know why.
And
That's all it is.
That's all I think about.
Right.
I'm too scared to do anything because ethics.
Literally.
Doesn't make any sense. Okay. Let's get to Amy's response on this one, shall we? And thank you for responding to that, Rachel. I appreciate that.
Sure.
Yes.
Dear sister, your sister should know well through her professional training that people don't actually need to change the way that they feel. People do frequently need to change the way they act, however. Let's start with your sister. Right, before I keep reading, that's the one thing that we didn't address was you need to change the way you feel. I don't like that. I don't like that.
That was
Of course
like,
you don't like that. Because
yeah,
it's terrible.
that's not a thing.
Okay, so I'm right. Like I don't need to be justified in the way I feel in terms of that, but
No one should ever tell another person ever in all of history and for all the future of all humanity. No one should ever be told you need to change the way you feel.
Yeah,
that's like I'm sorry you feel that way,
stupid.
right? Yeah.
That's wild.
Okay, so just making sure. Drawing on her expertise with how to deal with children, she will be familiar with the concept of natural consequences. A natural consequence of her intolerant and aggressive behavior is for people not to spend time with her. I assume your mutual friend will stop inviting her to events, and your friend, not you, should handle this. You are in a position to influence your sister by telling her, I love you and respect you, but your habit of leaping over boundaries and interjecting your views is tough to take. I don't like it, and this is affecting our relationship. You cannot change your sister. You can only encourage her to work on her own personal growth, perhaps in therapy. I'll pass along a quote I have taped to my computer. Unsolicited advice is always self-serving.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
nicely done, you two.
You too.
I'm just sitting here looking pretty. I just let you guys do the work.
You do look pretty.
Oh, thank you so much. That was really spot on. You can't change your sister, and I love you. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Deuces.
Yeah.
Peace. I'm going to go to that party you weren't invited to.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
I have one more quote.
Oh, hit us.
Because I learned that, the unsolicited advice thing, kind of, but I learned it from Dale Carnegie, who I just love.
Mm-hmm.
And I really don't love white men very often. So he says, unless someone has asked you to speak, they're not listening. So never speak unless someone has asked you.
That one's hard for me to swallow. It makes sense. What you're saying makes total sense.
Yeah, I'm with you.
But right next to me, that's like, there's a very fine line between that and don't speak unless you're spoken to.
But what it means, and like between the two of you, there's sort of like a tacit agreement that you can give me advice. I'm always wanting to hear,
Yeah,
and that's okay. Or like if my clients come to me, they want to hear what I have to say, but
right.
I'm not going to walk up to someone and be like, "Hey, your baby's crying. I think you should pick him up, hold him," or
Right.
or like some unsolicited advice. If someone hasn't been like, "Hey, could somebody help me with parenting?"
Yeah,
I'm not going to give you my advice.
Yeah,
I'm not going to tell you what I think. Nope.
I like.
Wait, that's not true. I might tell you what I think, but I'm not going to like try to like get you to change or understand or learn something from me unless you've actually asked me in a explicit or non-explicit way.
Like, hear me out, but I know this might not change your mind. Like, it's not my intent to change your mind.
Or like, what if this was going on? Or I feel like you and I do that a lot. Like, just ask questions in a way to maybe try to get you to see from a different perspective. Or I want to give you this advice, but I don't want to offend you or feel like I'm trying to give you advice.
Is that our codependence at work?
You're obsessed with this codependency that I do not see or agree with. Okay.
I accept it and I love it.
But I don't know what you're accepting.
I wish I understood it myself.
Then where is it coming from?
I don't know.
You just decided that.
No, I didn't.
Just decided one day that we're
Rachel, are we codependent?
I don't know.
Can we have some? No. Can you inform Ray on codependency?
Actually, that's actually a really good point because
we make
I've
a mutual?
I've heard. Well, I'm. So we're kind of kidding about it, but we're kind of not, because I've heard so many different definitions for codependency that I'd actually like to hear something from a professional where it actually, there's an enabling from one person and the other, and who's enabling whom, and is it being enabled or enabling that makes you codependent? And so and I think that, yes, I do play around with calling us codependent, but I also do think that in the way that we word things or the way that we try to appease each other and the way that we talk to each other, whether or not we're actually being codependent or not, we are kind of contributing to that dynamic in some way. So
I wholeheartedly disagree.
But I don't think it's a bad thing.
I think we're just so like, you and I know how to communicate.
Mhm.
So when we're specifically speaking to each other, it is a very good form of communication.
Because
It's
we're
not
earnest and we
a-
understand where the other person is coming
It's like,
may
I can-
interject?
I can give my...
Yes, you may.
Wait, what are we doing?
Rachel's looking at us. She wants to interject.
Okay, go.
Stop,
I
stop
might be
being
able to-
codependent.
Okay,
I
I
may
didn't
be able
hear
to
her.
clarify. Because I'm like whispering around.
Tell us everything.
Yes, please.
So I think the codependency topic gets a little muddied because of words like enabling and stuff like that. Codependency is so often linked to the subject of like alcoholism and drug abuse, and these people always link up because codependents enable, right?
Mhm.
But if we like take all that stuff and just put it over here and just look at
Right next to
codependency
Ellie?
at its core. No, it's actually behind Ellie, more like on the bed.
Her- I can't.
The irony. So codependency is super simplified. I don't know who I am or if I'm any good unless you're validating me. And so everything
Told
that
you we're
I
not
do,
codependent.
everything that I do,
Thank you.
I'm doing it to get your validation or to get you to show me who I am. So
Okay.
if I really don't speak up because I don't want to upset you because I need you to be happy with me so that I feel like I'm okay, or if I behave a certain way so that you think that I'm good, so that I feel that I'm good. So
You're thinking of
codependence,
someone
like
else besides me now. Aren't you?
codependence, like
No.
like
No.
they do a dance. Like their whole life is just like a dance, just to make sure that everybody's happy. Because when everybody's happy, then they're like, okay, I'm good. I'm okay.
So who's codependent in that respect? Is it the person who's... I just answered my own question. Never mind.
It's the
Yeah.
person who's doing a dance for the world so that the
Is
world
that-
thinks they're okay.
Is that similar to it or the same as people pleasing?
People pleasing is absolutely one aspect of codependency.
So you can be a people pleaser without being codependent.
Sure.
Okay.
Damn.
So
I just-
can
I
you
just need-
agree with me now that we're not
I mean, I can
codependent?
agree with you, but
Because-
I'm still okay with it. Okay. All right. Yeah, but it's that enabling. You were right. That enabling thing where that gets really confusing to me.
Yeah.
So
I think
and-
it confuses the issue a lot for people.
and but plus we're so earnest about like the way that we talk to each other too. And I think you might agree with this on some form. Like we kind of try to like gauge the temperature of the other, where it's like, all right, I'm going to say this in a way where you can kind of understand it, but like cater to that person's emotion in that moment, or be totally blunt about it.
Yeah.
And I feel like,
But-
yeah, and I
But
think
we're
that's
both
where I'm
okay
at.
that if we-
Uh-oh,
Can
she's
I
got her
say
hand
something?
up. Yes, Rachel.
I love conversations like these. I could talk about it forever. So if you are consciously making a decision to be codependent or to people please or not, then you're not codependent.
Oh, I fucking love this shit.
Thank you.
Cheers,
Because
Rachel.
There's a difference between, you know what, I'm super tactful, I'm aware, I'm
See,
considerate.
that's what I was
and
trying
so
to say. Is
if
that
I
we're
see
just
that-
very like you're not in a good place mentally, so I'm not gonna tell
Yeah.
you this thing the way I may have
Mhm.
before. That's our dynamic.
I guess I just never would have
And
thought
it's-
that that intent matters too
Yes.
in this case.
I'm deciding when to pull out my codependency, whatever. if you
Right.
wanna call that.
My
I drive it. It doesn't drive me. If you're driving it, it's not codependency.
yes, because how many
it's
arguments do
consideration.
we get into, or like not arguments, but like the little bicker,
I would call
like
them
the
arguments. We've gotten into
right. So
disagreements.
we're okay if you're mad at me. My world doesn't end.
No, we're gonna be texting tomorrow morning some strange
Exactly.
meme about somebody doing
So-
something to somebody.
I have had to yell at this man. I feel like once a week
But
that
you know
we're not
what?
codependent.
But you know what? I love this. I love that I was able to yell at you, or that you were able to yell at me about it, because we were able to have this conversation. and I
Because we're
got to
not
learn
codependent.
more.
That's why I was able to yell at you.
But I
for
learned
it.
something on air. I
Yes,
learned
that was
something.
very.
Rachel, can we publish
Yay.
this?
Yes. You have my
Yeah.
consent.
Oh my goodness, that was wonderful. Thank you so
we
much.
are not incorrect in kind of taking the temperature. before we
No.
approach things.
That's being really present and considerate.
That's
and,
how
you
I
know,
felt.
Yeah.
And I totally, that's so our dynamic. It's
Yeah,
like,
it really is.
you're depressed.
It really
so
is.
I'm not going to say what I wanted to say to you. Or I'm going to say it in a different way.
Or I'm going to say in a different, yeah.
Or it's like, you're incorrect here. So I'm going to make you sit down.
This is some real shit. I didn't sign up for this today.
So
this
we're
is
not,
the real. This is the real.
real.
This is like real ass, you know.
yes, we're not
relationships.
codependent. We are soulmates.
Oh.
So
You need an
That's
advice
that.
column there, Rachel.
Oh, do I?
She's-
I need another job.
You need something else. You just add to it. Well, thank you so much for that.
So can I ask my own question for the third question?
Yes. I don't want to look at this phone
she
anyway.
just brought up a couple things that I'm like, oh.
Hey, Stephanie, want to ask do you want to ask some random ass question?
I do.
Ask me anything.
I do.
love this.
So for our third and final question. So I recently just started with a new therapist. I mean, started like
2 sessions in.
2 sessions. But I kind of immediately started feeling like this probably isn't the right fit for me. And one thing that really I haven't been able to stop obsessing over was without getting into all the details at this moment, there's a situation in my life. So pretty much to try to sum things up, when things are difficult, I'm very good at keeping my boundaries. And then when things are no longer difficult, I have no more boundaries.
Mhm.
Knowing good and well that things are going to become difficult again.
You need those boundaries.
Because this is the cycle. And as soon as I let up on these boundaries, things start to become difficult again, right? So I'm aware of the cycles. I'm aware of
This is super common in like family of origin stuff, like with your parents. Like,
it
happens a lot. Yes.
Right. So
yes, very common.
So
very common.
for that specific session with my therapist, I was discussing like wanting to continue my boundaries even when things are good.
Yeah.
You know, and why I don't hold those boundaries, even though I know, okay, the second I let up on, give an inch, they take a mile. I know this. I'm aware of this. I've experienced it countless times now, but I still, when things are good, when they're nice, when they're kind, when we're getting along, whatever the situation, I give an inch. And then immediately a mile is taken. And within a week, 2 weeks, it's a full-blown shitstorm. So,
and then what do you do?
Go back to trying to keep my boundaries. And I'll do really great for a week, 2 weeks, a month. And then as soon as they stop being an asshole, I let up on the boundaries. Even though I know this is what I'm doing, this is what's happening, this is what's going to happen, I still do it. So my issue, well, I don't know if it's an issue, but I brought this up in therapy. And I was like, I would love to know why the F I keep doing this, even though I'm aware, right? And my therapist's response was like, I don't think you need to know why. And I wanted to punch them in the head when they said that to me. Because I was like, first of all, that doesn't make sense to me. Second of all, if I don't know why I'm doing this, how am I supposed to fix it? And that just after that session with my therapist, that just every day I'm like, well, I don't.
Okay.
I feel like I've been tormenting myself with like, do I really not need to know why? You know what I mean? But then it's like,
so that's your big question
sense to
here.
me.
That's your big question here. Is
Yes,
why would
it's
you
like-
tell me I don't need to know the why?
Yes. Like, and
Okay.
And I guess my bigger question would be, how would I fix something if I'm not knowing why I'm doing it?
Oh,
That's what
okay.
really kicked me, was like, if I don't fucking know why I'm doing these things, how am I supposed to fix it?
All right. So therapy, counseling, everything, it's considered an art and a science. Like we can all know the science part. Like we can all get the same information. We can all read the same books, but the
Right.
actual implementation of it, the art of it
Yeah.
is that's where you'll actually like click with a clinician or not.
Yeah.
Right? If the artistry is good. Right? I think your therapist kind of fucked up with the artistry there because she, they, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
They interrupted your orienting process. Like part of orienting as an animal, like we try to figure out the why. Like, where am I? Where did the danger come from? Who was it? What happened? What was happening? Like where did the danger happen? Like I need to orient.
My brain at all times.
I need to orient to this to fucking figure it out so I can make sure that never happens again.
Yes. That
now,
is my brain.
You don't need to know the why to heal. You don't need to. So your clinician was correct in saying that. But if you know the why, it sure fucking makes it easier to heal. It really speeds things up. It sure helps.
Like, how do I know what I'm healing if I don't fucking know what I'm healing?
Right. So don't interrupt that process because a why might appear. And if a why appears, boom, we're ready to go. But if we search for the why and the why never comes, then we can move on to okay, you don't actually need to know to ensure that this doesn't happen again. Now let's do that more difficult process together. Okay, let's go. I was
reading a book that said the why doesn't matter. And I'm actually still reading it, so I can't even comment on it completely. But
it's true.
Yeah.
It's true. It doesn't. But don't skip over searching for the why.
But it is.
Because it's a natural instinct and we're going to do it. And you don't impede that because it won't work. Go with it, explore it. If the why doesn't come, understand you don't need the why.
Okay.
It's just sure is helpful.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how I felt. And I felt like I'm in search of the why.
The why is in that moment. It's in that tiny, tiny, tiny moment.
Where I let up with my boundaries.
Someone asks you for something or demands something of you or pulls from you and you give in. It's in that split second. If you can spread that.
I was like, are you going to hit Rachel?
Spread that split second out and figure out what the fuck is happening in here. Do I want to please? Am I afraid of conflict? Do I want this good stuff to just keep going? Do I want someone to like me? Am I afraid of something? Like whatever it is in that tiny little moment, that's your why.
So is it going to be in each of those times? Is it going to be the same thing?
Probably.
Okay.
Maybe not.
And what is the success rate of hitting that point and recognizing that point?
I was just going to say, what would be your advice? So when I am in that moment where I'm like, can feel myself about to let up on my boundaries, what do I do then what's going on? Like, how do I get closer to the why in that moment?
Get really comfy asking for time. Hey, I just need a minute to think about it. Hey, you know what? I'm going to just call you back. Start asking for just give me a second. You know what? Let me think.
Okay, so what do I do when it's not even when it's I can call it before they interact with me?
You can feel it, huh? Right here.
Yeah. Yes. I can tell you the moment. I can tell you what they're going to do.
It's a crystal ball.
That I'm going to respond to and let my guard down or let the boundary down. I can call it. I can tell you the date and time and hour and what they're going to do that I'm going to be like, okay, yeah, sure. Knowing in the back of my head, like the second I do that, there we go. Shitstorm for a week. So what do I do before I'm even in conversation with them? When I can sense in myself that I'm about to let my boundaries up.
Can you like actually imagine that situation happening right now?
Yes.
Can you imagine saying no? What happens to your body? Look what's happening right now. Look, what happens? You see that? Don't forget to breathe.
But I'm cringing for you.
Right.
Can I have help for that? I'm just kidding. No, keep going. It's about you.
That's your codependency.
So I'm not your clinician, but what I would recommend you do is ask your clinician, will you help me stay in that feeling, because you need to get
If I
really
say no.
the no feeling. I need to just hang out and let my body feel.
Because
that
that's all about
discomfort.
me, not them.
Yeah. Yeah. The more comfy you get feeling that, the more comfortable you'll be in that moment.
I
Because
don't even know why that just made me
instinctually-
uncomfortable.
instinctually your body is like, no, I can't feel that.
Right.
But if
I don't know why.
If you teach your body, no, we can feel that. We do it all the time. We're good at this. We can feel uncomfortable and we're alive on the other side of it. We're good.
Yeah, because when they're angry or being an asshole, I can know all day long. But when they're being nice or kind or when we're getting along,
Insidious.
I can't do the no.
Can I say, so that's what I recommend you take to your clinician, whoever she, they, him are. I don't even know their titles or whatever. And ask them to get you to that no place and like just stay with it. Just be there. Feel that discomfort and get comfortable being in the discomfort. But I'd also like to point something out.
Please do.
You don't like that idea very much, do you? You're like,
To the talking to my clinician.
mm-hmm.
I think it's the clinician.
Yeah, I just don't think.
You might be able to say, hey, I want to explore the why for a little bit.
Well, I
Can we just-
asked the second they said that to me, I asked, like, first of all, like, I didn't love that answer. But second of all, how am I supposed to fix something that I'm not aware of or that I don't know why I'm doing? Not that I'm not aware. I'm very aware of what I'm doing,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know why I'm doing it. And I feel like if I know why I'm doing it, then it's easier to fix, because then I can be like, no, that has nothing to do with you or with our nothing. That's me. That's a lack of this, or that's because of my childhood, or that's right. So then I can like, no, I'm not, this is what I'm really wanting or not wanting. So that's what's going on here. And I got so mad when they were like, well, I don't think you need to know why. And I was like, "Ugh."
So how does that idea sit with you? Like the not needing to know why. And I'm only asking because Rachel said this and I read the book that I'm reading. How does the idea of not needing to know why sit with you?
So I hear that, but I am so good at figuring out the why.
Yeah.
So for me, it's just like, there's zero chance that I'm going to try to explore this why and not get to it. Like, there's very few moments in my life that it's like, when I hone in on something, I don't figure out that why. Like, I'm just naturally connect so much in my life with like, oh, my mom wasn't emotionally available, so now I'm whatever.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it just, in my brain, I can't imagine there being an issue in my life that I can't get to the why. And I think that's why I got so frustrated when my therapist was like, well, you don't need to know why. And I was like, I'll fucking punch you right now. Like, because it's like, that's what I do. I get to the why.
You get to the why.
That's what I do.
That's always been you.
Yeah.
That's such
So
an interesting thing.
I get the concept that like, no, you can get better and do better or whatever without knowing why. But for me, I get to that motherfucking why.
Mhm.
So I felt very frustrated when they just
interject?
instantly were like,
Can I interject?
yes, always interject.
So I have something that might be super frustrating for you.
Great.
Where's the wine? Are we done?
I was just going to say, can you go
We
find
finished the
something?
bottle?
Go get the
You
cheap
guys only
wine
got
in the
one
fridge.
bottle?
Go get the
Silly.
cheap wine in the fridge right now, please.
Go get the Franzia. So you rationalize yourself through issues.
I guess so.
You use this, you intellectualize
Yeah.
situations and people and relationships,
Everything, your entire life.
which
Everything.
which
Then
is
yes.
which is really powerful. It's powerful, but it's frustrating because that can only take you so far. Because there's this whole other system. You have your brain and your nervous system,
Yeah.
and they're
Which-
both conducting your business.
Yeah.
And so if you're using just this organ to conduct your business, there will be a lot of frustration there. And it will keep you from using this whole navigation system, your nervous system, to help you through.
But my intuition is unmatched, though. So I feel like I do use this.
Okay, well, I'm sure you do. I'm sure you're great at it. And you can use it more. When you hear you don't need to know the why, you're like, what? But that's like everything.
Yeah.
But babe, you're good. You're good at this.
But this
you're
is
good at
what's-
this. Capitalize on this.
Well, that's what's, even when I know right here,
Mhm.
I'm still doing. So that's, I feel like, why I need here to understand why, even though I'm going against everything I know. You know what I mean? I can call it I can call it when I'm going to let up on my boundaries. I can feel, even when it's like,
You can feel what? What do you feel?
I can feel like, yeah,
Warmth.
I'm about to let go of my boundaries that I know I shouldn't be letting go of.
Mm-hmm. Why? What does it feel like physically?
It just feels like I'm going against myself in my better judgment.
Physically, where do you feel it physically? What physical sensation do you experience? And you're pointing right here, so I'm guessing it's something around here.
My chest. Yeah, here.
Mhm.
So I feel like I'm aware of everything, but I just can't seem to say no in those specific moments. I guess the concept of like, you don't need to know why, which one brain understands and the other brain doesn't. Because it's like, how do I know what I'm fixing or not fixing, or when I don't understand what I'm doing,
It's
or
almost
why
like you know
I'm
the
doing
concept,
it.
but you
The
don't know it for
rationalization.
you.
Right. So like, I know that like, I need to understand that like, I'm about to let go of my boundaries and I need to say no and I need to hold tight and this, that, and the third. But it feels almost impossible to do that when I don't know why I'm doing that.
Let's just give a personal example. It's as simple as like, I woke up today and I'm just so sad. So sad. And I think about it. I'm like, everything's good. Why am I so sad today? I give myself the space to look for the why and know why comes. Okay. That's when we step into, I don't need to know the why. My body is fucking telling me I'm sad. It's like heavy and my stomach is tight. And it's like, okay, so now I'm just going to feel my way through this. There's no more intellectualizing that needs to be done.
But that's where my issue comes, because it feels better when I don't keep the boundaries in that moment. When they let up, when they stop being a dickhead, or when they stop being an asshole, or when they...
So then what's the problem?
Because I want to continue to keep that boundary.
But your body's telling you not to.
Because it feels good in the moment.
Right.
But
So
it's only going to feel
it.
good in a moment for a week. And then they're going to go back to being a piece of shit.
Look. Healthy boundaries. Healthy boundaries is, I know what I like. I know what I don't like. I know how much I want. I know how much I don't want. I know how much I'm willing to take. I know how much I'm willing to give. I know where that line is. And sometimes I know when I put my wall down, and I'll put it back up when I want to. It doesn't mean always having the wall and making sure that you never, ever, ever give in to anything. It's, I know where it's at, and I put it down and I put it back up and I put it down, I put it back up. That's what you're doing. You're doing
That's
it.
a thing.
Yeah. That's healthy boundaries. When we first put our boundaries up, they're like these giant walls. We're like, no, you can't come in. Right. But healthy boundaries is like, no, I know where my wall is. I'm going to put it down tonight.
Until
tomorrow, I'm going to put it back up again. Yeah. Healthy boundaries is a big wall, but it has a door in it. And so you get to decide, like, I don't fucking feel like holding my boundaries
I'd
today.
call it a window.
Come on in. Or a window, whatever. Yeah.
I like window because I can see
So
what's
that's-
out there.
That's healthier.
Because
it's
that's
not healthy to like, my no's are always no until I die. My
Oh,
yeses
me
are
in
always
high
yeses
school.
until I die.
Even when I know that like,
Mhm.
okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to let my boundary down, and in 2 days, you're going to fucking be a piece of shit.
This makes a
Yeah.
lot of sense too. And I have to say this too. I
I don't know
do
what's more
wish,
frustrating.
I know that I wish that you were Rachel's client so I could listen to this, because let me tell you that this would absolutely, it would absolutely, like, you'd have listeners up the wazoo. But I
Up
think
the what?
the wazoo. Yeah.
What's the wazoo?
ass.
You've
Right
never
up the
heard of a
ass.
wazoo?
I was waiting for this moment
love that you
where
don't
East
know what a
Coast
wazoo is.
meets West Coast.
And it's at the wazoo.
It's at the wazoo.
I love that.
Up the ass. I wish that you were her client in that respect, but more specifically because she would know the context of all of this too, which would really help her respond and help you absorb on both sides. But it's just such a fascinating dynamic watching you both try to kind of like.
Well, because I didn't know that
Without
was
any
healthy.
knowledge
Right.
whatsoever.
You know what I mean?
I didn't know
Yes.
that was healthy to.
Yes.
What is
And that's
healthy?
that's what I was thinking when that's honestly what I was thinking. And I put notes in my phone because I couldn't find any paper. Like, she's demonstrating healthy boundaries. Like, you have your boundaries.
Nobody
And
ever
then
told me that, like,
you
what
can
I was
you
doing
can put them
was,
down,
like,
and then when they fuck up again, you put your boundaries back up again. Like, that's what you do.
Yeah. I
And if
guess
it's
that
working
makes
for you,
sense.
it's
It
working
makes
for
sense.
you, then just keep doing
It
it.
is. And what didn't work for me was feeling like I had to keep my boundaries up.
Mm-mm.
Nobody ever said to me that, like, what I'm doing is okay. So it just has been a constant.
Think of people who you know who have boundaries that are so solid. You're like, can't you just see, I don't know, like flexible boundaries, people who they see a situation in the whole of it. I think of like customer service representatives who like don't listen to you at all. And they're just like, no, can't do that ever, ever, ever. And where I feel like a number, and this is like a very small scale type of thing, but like flexible boundaries, like, okay, you're a human. I'm going to listen to you and we're going to see what we can do, even though I'm supposed to say no. But yeah. And I think, you know, you've taught me too, like flexible boundaries is the healthy way to go. I don't like people who are like, this is a no forever, no matter what.
But even if this person is no good.
Well, obviously they're good at something.
I can't even say what I want to say because it'll give away everything.
I'm done. Mic drop.
They're not all bad, obviously.
I want to argue that so bad.
And scene.
Look, it's serving you somehow. You're enjoying it. There's something about it that you like, whatever. Stretch out that little moment. Figure out your why in that moment. Like, what am I afraid of? What do I want? What am I getting out of this? Like, and if the why isn't there, just feel your way through it, babe. And if you want to like come and go with this person forever, okay.
Literally nobody has ever told me that, like, that's okay.
That it's okay to come and go.
And that's what I've been doing. I've been feeling my way through it. When it doesn't feel good, no, you're not welcome.
Perfect.
Once they're
That's perfect boundaries.
better, then yes, you can be around.
Exactly.
And nobody ever said that, like, that's okay to do. It's just always been the second that it does feel good or that it's okay when they're around.
Mm-hmm.
I've had this thing where it's like, oh, I shouldn't be letting them around because I know that, you know, in a week or a month or 2 weeks, it's not going to feel good anymore.
Soak it up. Enjoy it. Take the good shit. Go for it.
Good shit.
And then
like,
when it's
cry
not
right
good
now.
anymore, no.
Why do we need someone else to tell us it's okay for it to be okay? Oh, are you okay, honey? It's okay. You're in a safe space.
It's super okay.
Literally for years, I've been beating myself up
I know.
for like letting them come and go. But it was like on my terms. They come and go when I say you can come and go.
That's
and I've been beating myself
badass.
up for that. I've been beating
No,
myself
fuck
up for it.
that.
Literally nobody's ever said like, that's how you do it. Like, that's
Yes.
okay. Or
You're being a badass woman. You're doing what you want
That's
when
exactly
you
what
want
I was thinking.
with
A
who you
badass
want.
woman.
Yes. Yes.
You're magic, baby.
Yes.
You've always been magic.
You're good. You're good.
Oh, damn it. I hate real tears because I feel it. This is why I'm codependent.
shut up.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
So good. This
Fuck.
has been wonderful.
This was so great.
This is
It's
wonderful.
super relatable too.
This is
Super
wonderful.
relatable.
I was expecting
super-
you to cry.
No, this is super important because like people get fucking shoved in other people's boxes all the time. Like, girl, you're not supposed to do that. It's supposed to be like this. It's supposed to be like that. It's supposed to shoulda. No, I'm gonna do what feels good right now, and that's gonna be right every fucking time.
See, like I know that. And like I live so much of my
You would
life
tell somebody
like
else that.
Like if it feels okay or if it feels good,
Yep.
then it's either fuck yes or fuck no. And like for the majority of the things in my life, that's like it's a fuck no for me or it's a fuck yeah for me. But this specific situation, it just I
love how you keep calling him a situation.
Well, I mean, when it's a fuck yeah, it's a fuck yeah. But then when it's a fuck yeah, it's like I'm beating myself up that like
no,
that
don't steal
I
that
let
joy.
him back.
Don't
I
steal
let
that
him
joy.
back. That's what it is.
Nah.
I let him back. Or the second he fucks up again, it's I knew that was coming and I still let him back. That's what it's been. It's been torture for myself. Just like, oh, I knew I shouldn't have let him back. Or I knew I shouldn't have, and it's like I need to just completely no.
The golden moment of watching that exchange was when she asked you, like, how does it feel in your body? And you were like, well, it feels okay in my body when I allow, my body feels okay.
Yes.
And it was like, that is just the answer right there. It's okay when I keep my boundaries up and it's okay with it when I let them down.
Yeah,
my body feels okay. But your mind's the one fucking you up because your mind's shooting you.
Yeah. Nobody's ever said that, like, that's okay to do it that way. Even forever. Like you just said, like, you can do that forever. Like when it feels good, it's fine.
Yes.
And when it doesn't, it's...
Your mind will fuck with you, but your body will not.
Right. And I know that.
Your body will
Which
not.
is why it's
if your body
if
your body is telling you this is safe, this is good, it feels good, it's pleasurable, like I feel good here, then it's the right place for you to be. Your mind is what is stealing that pleasure from you. Your mind is like, oh, I shouldn't be letting back. He's going to fuck up.
Yes.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
Your mind is what's doing that to you. So trust.
This has been powerful and it has been meaningful. And I actually love that it took the turn that it did just because of the meaning behind it and everything and your expertise and your willingness to be raw. This is it's just a magical fusion of the both right here on this podcast. And just,
it really is.
Thank
we
you
really
so
were
much
meant
to both of you. And
to be here.
I really, Rachel, please
And
come
all
back
my years of
whenever the
therapy.
hell you want. Just send me a message that says like, I want to come on. And I'll say, we're recording Sunday.
Okay. I would love to. You guys are beautiful people. I've been so happy to connect with you.
Both
honestly.
Beautiful people. Ellie, you too. Thank you
I
so
know.
much for just being here, for being in communication. Oh, there she is.
You got Ellie to come on camera twice.
Oh.
She never does that.
Oh, we had a lot here and a lot for our listeners to absorb. So I think this is a good place for us to stop if everyone's okay.
Yep.
To our listeners, you guys are most magical human beings ever, and continue listening despite the nonsense we spew. This one's just as powerful as the rest, if not more. Rachel, please tell us where they can find you.
Where they can find Consent to Treat.
We're on all podcast platforms, Consent to Treat podcast. You can actually email me, consenttotreatpodcast@gmail.com, or you can find me on TikTok, Instagram, at Rachel Sievers, MS, Masters of Science. On Facebook, what am I? Rachel.m.Sievers. Sorry. It's very confusing, everybody. But yeah, you can find me. Or just arrivecoachandcounsel.com is my website.
Yes. Just all of it. Just follow all of it.
It's just a big old mess.
Reels.
You just good luck trying to find me.
Listener, if you just hit that reverse 15 seconds button, you'll catch it all. Just do it again until just write it down. Send us your questions, your comments, and all your concerns. illadvisedthepodcast@gmail.com.
Or catch us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at illadvisedthepodcast.
You're beautiful. You're wonderful. Listen to Consent to Treat the podcast, please.
And if it feels good, do it.
Because Rachel said so. And thank you for listening.
You've
Yay.
been ill-advised.
Yay.